sort of making up a inky wash. This is not a long stream, this is just something to do to keep me occupied. I'm not thinking of other things. And will I put too much water in? Oh yeah, that's far too much. That's okay. Lucky. So the box is painted. Now it's time to basically make the muck wash that will adorn it. And really it's mostly around the base. So we're making this mucky brown wash as it goes up the door, and that's probably far too much. And some paper roll to just try and remove some of it. And it's just about getting into the crevices to make this look a bit mucky. So horizontal surfaces, or surfaces that would be horizontal, and I really want to get some around this this door sign, hinges and things that people would touch, handles, door lock, that sort of thing, especially lighten in the and then just glossing without trying to leave too much of the paper towel behind as well. So just trying to, because this is textured, it can sometimes tear and leave little bits of paper towel, and sometimes it's paper towel and other times it's just the way the light is catching the paint, because the paint's a bit glossy. So general sort of muckiness, but not as much at the top. Really concentrate it on the bottom of the corner posts, in the areas where, in corners where the mesh will get stuck, dirt gets ingrained, just like anywhere, when you wash your car, there's a lot of mess in the corners, in shut lines and things like that. And if nothing else, I'll have some footage of me doing this for the build video, which may eventually get finished one day. It's not been the best of weeks, and it's only Wednesday. And I've got to be an optimist, don't I? The other thing you can do is get a sort of dry brush and sort of scrub it around a bit. You want to sort of scratch things up a little bit and spread it around. And then if you compare, this is the sort of dirty side to the clean side. It's starting to look nice and weather beaten, which is good. That's the look we're going for. Don't be afraid to move on, do another side and come back to it. This is probably the scariest moment ever. When I did this last time, to take something that I thought was looking really nice, and to be fair, the person said they would have been happy with it had I done nothing. Maybe that was a nice way of saying I ruined it, but I like it. I like it like this, so I'm gonna do it again. Again, horizontal in the corners, and just, I might get a rag a rag might be better than paper towel for this. But it also helps to cover up any little imperfections from painting, you know, where something's been missed or bristles come off. But the other things, the rag itself becomes quite a nice tool, and you just sort of gloss away, and probably not doing this justice, but it's sort of a system of put lots on and then take most of it back off again. And whatever sticks in the crevices is the right amount. It's the Dr. Cox approach. You just throw it, and whatever sticks, that's the right dosage. It is incredibly late, and I should be going in and getting ready for work, but when you've got things on your mind, come and do something to hopefully get them off of it. Not that I can talk about things at work, but there you go. This has got to look grimy. It's got to look like it's I guess down the bottom, you know, it's where mud kicks up, or you know, there's bad weather on planet Tharg, and the Tardis gets covered in Thargian mud, where the Doctor and unnamed companions are traipsing in all manner of alien muck from alien worlds. So there we go. This is a prime example. You never point out your mistakes to people, but there is a bristle stuck in the paint from that brush because I cut the bristles off it. So this will hopefully, it'll either cover it or it'll make everyone know it's there. Or it will just look like I'll just tell people it's a Thargian twig. This is one of the reasons that FDM printed TARDIS might be a reasonable option, because it does provide some little crevices just through its texture of printing that this muck can stay in, and if you can get it on wet enough and haphazardly enough, it can actually look pretty amazing. I might step out and get a rag. Sorry, it's on an angle. It will be knocking on the table. But some of it will just dry. It'll dry where it is, and hopefully it will detract from the here. Probably want more down the bottom, and you can always, let's say, put more on and brush it off again. You just sort of try and go a bit lighter up as you go. So kind of, it's almost like we used to do for shading at school, of do one wash over everything, 2 washes in the space that you want to be that mid-tone, and 3 washes over where you want it to be really dark, or you really want it to look mucky. But provided it doesn't come out looking like it's been fired out of a cannon, I don't think there's really such a thing as too much weathering like this. I don't think you can really go too hard on it. Maybe I'm wrong. It's starting to look filthy. The last pristine side. Last chance to change my mind about how it looks. You get lovely clean fingers doing this. So tomorrow, people will be asking me what I was doing. Making Thargian mud. Just really nice. Now, it's even good to just sort of go like this and brush over and move it around a bit. It's a mixture of when you paint it first time, you try and get everything nice and even, and then this is the opposite. You need to get it quite uneven. It will look better the more uneven it is. But what I might do is stand it up in a moment and just go around the base again. Before I set more 3D prints going overnight, if it's been struggling with the overnight temperatures. I guess it gets down to about 2 degrees at the moment, and as well insulated as the workshop is, I think the ambient is too much for the ender. Or not enough, I should say, not too much. So what I might do is stand that up, which is going to make for a rubbish viewing angle. Maybe I'll turn it up on its side like this and just have another go around the base, because that will be good footage for later on. I mean, this is the Tardis Door, so this is obviously going to be where the most muck appears. It's down here, and obviously people from in various states of being bereft are clutching at the Tardis Door to escape danger, so I'll have muddy hands from clawing their way desperately through the dirt. So this is only the fourth thing I've actually weathered. I think my first thing was a lightsaber. I'm not a Star Wars fan. I built a lightsaber and I tried to weather it, and I basically used the excuse of I tried to make it look like it was a bit rubbish. I sort of took the sonic screwdriver approach. Make it look like someone's had to try and fix the thing while using it. Just really want some more muck on these corner posts. This one's looking a bit too pristine for my liking. Especially on things like the edge of this step. It should be really filthy. In fact, I'm tempted to actually leave the step like it is. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit. But now that looks far dirtier than this one, so obviously some more. Especially in the lower corners. This thing gets weather beaten in space. Might actually need a bit more water. A bit more needed. still got the bloody roof to go as well, don't I? Will I put too much water in again? Maybe. Yes, far too much. There we go. Carrying on with tradition there, Jim. Perfect. But that's okay. It's going to make a nice sort of inky wash, and it's good to get a mixture of black and brown in it. Don't might put a bit more brown in there, just to just want these brown surfaces. It just takes it down a bit. Here I am, still trying to justify it. I'm doing it because I think it'll look better, and that's the difference between a 3D model that's printed and people go, "Oh, it looks lovely," and something that people, you want the wow factor. What's the point in doing it if you're just going to print it in plastic and leave it without doing anything else? I mean, good, but not for an aesthetic thing. And that's the hope for this, is that it's going to provide someone with a very nice aesthetic. It's going to be a nice piece that somebody will have, hopefully, that somebody enjoys in their collection. So just muck in and on and around, and just get it every bloody way. Not sure what time is this. Very late. Probably too late to be out doing this. But time is an illusion. Lunchtime, doubly so. Yeah, it's just basically washing the grime into it. I think last panel. And this will be probably done. And I've never been, there are people that are good at airbrushing and stuff. It's never been something I've done. I've really only done this, so a couple of times. Less than 10 times. So I'm practicing on small things for a larger project that will require some weathering. But weathering's good to hide the sins, especially if you're concerned that yours, whatever it is you're making, might not look good, might not be what you're hoping to achieve. Now the roof will be a slightly different matter. I have to be a bit careful with the roof, because the roof is currently, by sheer force of will, attached to the top ring, I believe it's called in the files. And the top ring is what will have the signs on it. So I have had to sand those back so they are not textured. In fact, they're quite smooth. But they will have a sign, a sticker that will take up the majority of the space. So, but I do want to weather that with the same mix so it's uniform. So the roof's here. This is sanded down with 1,000 grit paper to, I'll just sit that over there, land it over there. Now the roof might come apart. That's okay. And again, it's just a matter of get it on, get it into the areas, put a bit thicker over these ridges, because this is where muck would accumulate. You get these sort of areas around here, so very haphazardly get it on and around the sign boxes in the corners. Sorry, carried it towards myself. Just trying to hold it. All I do is in the corners there. You want to. I'm hoping to at least have the part of it. You can see it's moving around a little bit there. I want it in the corners. This stuff will sink into the print lines a little bit, so I might need to make it a little bit thicker on the top. This paper towel is doing quite a remarkable job at staying together. I'll say that and it'll start to disintegrate in my hands in a second. Yeah, first pass, it's looking okay, but it's not. The good thing is you get dirty hands, it doesn't matter. Dirty hands help. Just go and spray this in the mud. Maybe a bit more. I think. A bit more. Just be a bit more haphazard with it this time. Yeah, particularly around edges. Really get it on the edges of stuff. And then get the wash. Sort of give everything a wash over. But really, every corner, and a hint on the corner and every flat surface that it could possibly sit on. Get some on there. I used to do I didn't build models as a kid. I didn't have the skills to build models or the patience. So I'm paying for it now. My foot's going to sleep. At least doing something like this, it's something to focus on other than work. That's not to say, I don't want to think about work, but I can't really talk about it. So there's more to it. Yeah, this edge seems to be avoiding, so really shoehorn it in there. What I might do is bring the Tardis back in and marry these two together and just see how we're looking as far as uniformity. So probably the roof would be dirtier than the rest of it, I would think. Sorry, I'm bringing this the wrong way for the camera. They also have a cap for the light, so I'll give that a quick dirty up and just probably smear a bit on and smear a bit off. Might need to actually smear a bit on and leave it on, I think, just to sort of also make an effort to really try and get it off there. Don't just, oh well, you know, close enough's good enough. I think that's, and then always pat it down with the dirty bit of the rag. I think that's okay. I think that's going to look weather beaten enough, and there's enough of the clean paint under there, sort of hinting that at what it is. I think that's okay. So with that, I guess the stream is ending, and if anyone is watching this later on, I hope you have a good day. I am off to go to bed and get ready for work. May your evenings be pleasant.